How many people are familiar with a Bedan? You've heard of one. I mean, it's just like a skew. I mean, that's definitely not one of my favorite tools, a skew, and it's very similar to that. However, have some exceptions. Bedan is 3/8 of an inch on top, 1/4 inch on the bottom. It's a, what is it, quadrangle? Anyways, yeah. Anyways, I mean, you can do some fantastic beads. That's what it originally started from in France. It's narrower on the bottom, 3/8 on top, 1/4 inch on the bottom here. And I mean, you can do some nice beads with it, but you got to be careful. It's just like a skew. The rascal can definitely take off on you. Can get pretty good with it, but then you get a little bit too cocky and it'll humble you real quick.
Well, like the skew, you try to cut with the bottom third
Yeah, basically the same thing, just like a skew. If you're putting it in like this, you cut with the bottom third of it, and then again the same way. Now, when you're just cutting straight in, this is the American way of doing it, with the fat part towards the top. Okay, Europeans turn it around, and it doesn't matter what the burr is on there, it's going to perform the same function. Same thing. And it's like, I didn't realize that until a couple weeks ago. A buddy of mine told me that. I'm going, what? It's on YouTube if you want to check it out. Now, for making a tenon, I think, especially if you want to make a tenon for this size round cylinder right here, this is the most fantastic thing for doing it. You go in straight, 90 degrees with a lathe, perpendicular, and you go in straight, and then keep pushing straight, but you concentrate on that left corner, keeping that corner straight, and then you're just twisting it, and you'll see the shavings go from right to the corner and start walking up, and it'll get all the way to the end. Then you know you're that's for a tenon right there. It takes a little practice, especially when you're doing that bottom edge down there. That's where all of your gripping power basically is with a chuck, is right at the base. If that's not level and square, it can get a little squirrely on you. Anybody want to try this? Come right up. Okay, first just go in just like you had it, go in right straight, take the whole thing out. No, just take this out, go straight in. Okay, now you're level. Now keep going in with your left corner. See it walking up? Keep it going in right straight when it's straight, and then just keep going straight, push in on the corner, and twist it. Anybody else? The parting tools, I usually use like a 1/4 inch one, especially when I'm making a bowl, not a bowl, I'm sorry, a box, and you want to have the cap. So I go in 1/4 inch, maybe a little bit more. So that's the depth of my thing. Then I use the 1/16 inch one, and Now I still left like 1/4 of an inch for the cap for the box to go in on. And it isn't too bad, because usually what you do is this thing will be hollowed out, so when I go in like that, I kind of twist it sideways so it doesn't burn the hell out of my tool here. And the same thing at the other end, because you're going to hollow that out, so you just twist it just a little bit and just gives it a room. If not, this will really start smoking and build up a lot of resin and whatever. So you can definitely get her smoking. See, I'm already in there quite a ways. I usually go in so far, and then I take my saw, stop it, take my saw and buzz it out. Whee. Now you can also do it sometimes. What I do is get a pencil and I put it up against here and draw a line when I lay the pencil on here, and that's basically the same size as your 2-inch Nova chucks for your tenon. And then there's a couple ways of doing it. You can go in there with a parting tool straight and get it wider, or you can start going in with this a little bit. And well, let me demonstrate that. Smoking.
What is that thing in your hand?
This is, where's that other one? This is what this used to be like. You can buy this at Packard, and it's just a double dovetail on both sides. And I got a little crazy with my grinding, and so now it's half the size of that, but it works great here, because what I do is I start it up, get it on here, and get it wide enough, and I get this one in there to actually smooth out the bottom. So it was basically a blessing in disguise when I screwed this one up. So
So that's your chuck recess you just made right there.
I'm sorry?
The recess for your chuck, that's what you just made?
Yes. Yep.
Try to keep up.
Yeah, it's a little bit smaller. I just did it like that. And like I said, this one right here will put the dovetail, the proper dovetail on it when you're finishing it up. This is just a rough, get material out of there. Any questions on the Bedan or the parting tools? No? All right. This thing is, I usually just put it on the lathe, and this, I try and maintain that bevel right there or close to it. It's really not that critical, this bevel at all, as long as you keep the darn thing sharp. And the thing is, you have to look at it to make sure it's straight across. That's, sometimes you get, well, then you have some nice curves.
When you need to sharpen that, it's on the angle, right? It's not across the top.
Yes, it's at an angle. I hit the wheel like that, and
Makes a little concave on the end.
you're always going to have a concave. You're turning it on the wheel, so you're going to have a concave, unless you have Sorby's sharpener that does it perfectly straight. And that's a real pain that took us also. It's like, it doesn't hurt to have a concave on this thing. It's just like your turning tools also. Should be perfectly straight, not concave, but I mean, very few people have the Robert Sorby sharpening system, and it's very time consuming compared to just hit it on the wheel and you're off and running.
I have to disagree with you on that. I've got the Sorby,
Do you?
and it just
It's too time consuming. Too time consuming unless you set it up and then you do it right.
it depends on what you're sharpening. I mean, with my bowl gouges, I've got the adapter sitting there, and I've got the pro step on the side where I just slide that on there, drop it, lock it down, and it's just, like I said, I mean, I can touch up my bowl gouges in 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I do. As soon as I need it, I put that Robert Ellis on there and just hit it. I go one time around and back the other way, and it's perfect. Any other questions?
I used to make knives, so I was more familiar with the belt system.
Oh,
So, crowd wants, get it over with. And I've got pretty much when I'm just touching up, if I'm turning something hard, and I pretty much just use a 120 grit belt.
you don't put the diamond blade. Have you got one of those? A diamond?
I haven't spent $270 for a belt yet.
It's like, really?
Right.
It's like,
But the Trizacs, they're just as good. I mean, if
Oh,
you
yeah.
spend some time with it, there's the 3 Trizac belts that I've got. They're just as good.
nice lathe. Will they take my 3520B and trade? Nice.
How many beads can you make till they hit the dustpan again?
It's what?
Let's see how many beads you can make before they ring the dustpan again.
How many, what I can make? Beads? Oh. $3,200 RPM. Yeah, buddy. That's what happens when you don't pay attention. Want to try one? Damn it. Hate when that happens. With what?
Mixture.